What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Tony Bellew. Get this. Tony Bellew states that this particular heavyweight should never be in the ring again. And he is referring to, quote, "I don't think it should happen. I don't think Miller, should be allowed in the ring ever again. People will say, why? Because this guy had more steroids in him than the Hulk." And those are the words of Tony Bellew, and let me counterpunch. I think Jarrell Miller was just caught red-handed. I think he was deliberately trying to do some stuff that he shouldn't have. And I think it was out of desperation. I think he had talked up such a good game to the point he knew at some point he had to back it up. And if his skills naturally couldn't help him, he needed something to help him out. You know what I mean? And I think that's what he was doing. I think that's why he took it. He took it to dethrone the guy, Anthony Joshua, which was on top at the time, the undisputed, undefeated, unified heavyweight champion of the world. And I think he hated everything about him. I think he hated the fact that, you know, Anthony was on top. He challenged Joshua to a duel outside the ring, and the fight eventually happened, since Jarrell Miller still to this day is an undefeated fighter. Okay, I think he has a draw or whatever, but he's still undefeated. So saying all that to say this about Jarrell Miller definitely tried to make an impact on the sport. The only question I wonder is, would he have beat AJ with the drugs and with the possible concussion that Anthony Joshua had? However, I don't think that could really be proven that he would have beat him, because they never fought. And since they never fought, I think it's a issue on, you know, giving people second chances, you know. But then here's the deal. Jarrell Miller failed another drug test. You know, he said it was, you know, because of performance-enhancing drugs, you know, for sexual pleasure or whatever, you know, other reasons, right? So I think that's another issue totally. Thank you. So, saying all that to say this, people, I think that a lot of people seeing that Tony Bellew, and well, including Tony Bellew, seeing that Jarrell Miller wasn't a, you know, he wasn't a team player. He was just a guy that got caught cheating. But then you ask yourself, then how many other people that got caught cheating had second chances? You know, look at Dillian White, and I'm doing a live tomorrow on Dillian White, you know, talking about second chances, because the question is, you know, does he deserve a second chance? Does he deserve a third chance? And then this is what I think about it. I don't think performance-enhancing drugs are that
Take the next left onto Cypress Creek Road.
I don't think they're that much impactful. I think what happens, it's a mental thing. You know, the more you take something, the more you think it helps you. That's just me. And I think, you know, people that used like supplements, and then these supplements begin to be banned substances, or they turn in, or they're ruled, quote unquote, as performance enhancing drugs. You know, and I'm for a clean sport, don't get me wrong. I just don't give drugs that much credit. I think you still have to go to the gym. You still have to train. You still have to do the whole song and dance that gets you prepared on fighting somebody. That's what I believe. I think you still have to do it. I mean, that's just one element of it. It may give you an edge, but is that edge final? Is that edge definite? You know, you know what I mean? I don't think it's definite. I don't think just because you take drugs or try to cheat will award you a win. Because there's too many fighters that they've lost, and then they've had performance-enhancing drugs in their system. Chael Sonnen, Fernando Vargas. These guys lost these fights, okay? And they were stopped, some shape, form, or fashion. Choked out in Chael Sonnen's case, and then knocked out in Fernando Vargas's case. So there's a lot to really talk about when you're talking about, well, he shouldn't be in the ring again. Well, if that's the case, if it's that final, I think that applies to a lot of people. You know what I mean? Unless he had something in his gloves that just physically hurt someone, you know, as far as you go, you know, and I think it would have been worse for Jarrell Miller had they found it after he knocked out Anthony Joshua, if he would have knocked out Joshua, because again, that's not determined, you know. But I'll say this, it was probably a blessing in disguise, since Jarrell Miller cheated, people, and wrapping this up, that he didn't get an opportunity to fight AJ, because AJ was possibly impaired, okay? He was injured or damaged in some type of way prior to being in the ring. Because Jarrell Miller's former promoter, Serafina, already had, and she already heard the rumors that Anthony Joshua was concussed because he got knocked out by Joey DeWaco. Okay, so they had knew before Jarrell Miller popped dirty that they had a better chance of beating Anthony Joshua that night. So all that really proves, if Joshua was where or what he was at that point and in condition that he was, in that condition, it just shows you that he wasn't meant to be in the ring with Anthony Joshua at that time, and somebody else could take that victory like Andy Ruiz did that night, June 1st, 2019. But you guys tell me what you think of Tony Bellew stating that Jarrell Miller should never be allowed to be back in the ring again, but he still is. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!